Council meeting will now come to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
City of Romulus City Council regular meeting for Tuesday, May 27th, 2014. The roll will show that all members are present. Tonight's council agenda is as follows. Number 1, agenda, 2 minutes, 3 petitioner, 4 chairperson's report, 5 is mayor's report, 6A is clerk's report, 6B treasurer's report, 7 public comment, 8 unfinished business, 9 new business, 10 communication, 11 is warrant 14-10, and number 12 adjournment. And a motion would be in order to accept the regular council meeting agenda as presented.
So moved to accept the agenda as presented.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Kraut, for the approval of agenda as presented. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo? Yes. Chair votes yes, agenda approved.
Number 2, minutes. 2A, approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting held May 12th, 2014.
So moved for May 12th, 2014.
Motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting held May 12th, 2014. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Makowski?
Yes.
Roscoe?
Yeah, abstain.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
2B, approval of the minutes from the special meeting study session held on Monday, May 12th, 2014, to discuss the city fee schedule.
So moved for May 12th, 2014, special.
Motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the minutes from the special meeting study session held on Monday, May 12th, 2014, city fee schedule. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Abstain.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Number 3 is petitioners. There are no petitioners on the agenda tonight. Number 4 is the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Earlier tonight at 6 p.m., we had a closed session discussing pending union matters. And at 6:30, we had a study session discussing policies and procedures. At this time, I'd like to yield the floor to Ms. Makowski.
Thank you. I move that we accept the memorandum of agreement with the International Association of Firefighters, Local 4126. What I'm moving that we accept is clarification of contract language, implementation of the 80/20 health premium share for new hires, and lastly, a 1-year extension of the contract to align the contract expiration time with the police unions.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Makowski, supported by Ms. Choate, to accept the memorandum of agreement with the International Association of Firefighters, Local 4126, clarification of contract language, implementation of 80/20 health premium share for new hires, and 1-year extension to align contract expiration time with the police unions. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. At this time, I'd also like to yield the floor to Mr. Wadsworth.
Thank you, Mr. Barton. I'd like to give you a quick report on the 10th annual Friends of the Romulus Animal Shelter Bowl-a-thon that was taking place on May the 16th. It was a wonderful event. That night, we raised $2,203, and all the funds will go to the Romulus Animal Shelter. And I'm going to take a couple minutes here to read everybody that gave something that was used as a gift. And of course, Mayor Leroy Burkhoff paid for the pizza. Mike and Maria Boudre of Romulus Lanes opened the lanes up and again didn't take 10 cents. The Frank Ayers family Joe Azu, J.R. Roden, and Metro Realty, the Romulus Auto Supply, Fluff and Puff, the Romulus House, Dave's Barbershop, Countrywide Forest, Jim Pote and Westland Fire Extinguisher, the Billy Steers from Steers Hardware, the City Engineers, Romulus Hardware, the Friends of the Shelter, Kim and Annie, the Romulus Marketplace, J&M Towing, Jets Pizza, Burger King, John DeLinza, again, as you come through for 10 years, gave the Blue Sky ice cream. Pat and Lynn come through. John Leacher, our Public Safety Director. Councilwoman Kathy Abdu was in charge of the 50-50, although she did a pretty good job. I don't know if it was that. Anyway, Jake's Truck and Auto Repair, the Lukowitz family from the Landis Machine Shop, the Outdoor Exports, Plant Moran, Bill Crane, the Romulus Little Paper, the Romulus Roman, the Romulus Cable was there. Roger and Ken were there with their cameras. Michigan Granite, Dennis Davison, Keith Johnson, Dr. John Herman, the Romulus Chamber of Commerce, and Sylvia Minkowski. And the elected officials that participated were our Mayor Pro Tem, John Barden, and he does know how to bowl, that's for sure. Ellen Bragg was there. Stacy Page, our treasurer, and the fire department brought a very special guest. Fire Pup was there, and he came in and he took the check, and he ran out the door with it. And I don't know where he went. I guess he took it back to the animal shelter. And if I missed anybody, please call me. I'll give your name at the next thing. But one thing I'd like to mention are the DPW workers, because about 4 days before the event took place, we were booked for 6 weeks. All of a sudden, due to undue circumstances, I had like 10 or 11 spaces. I talked to Scott Haydniak at the DPW, and the DPW workers came to my rescue, and it was a packed event, and I appreciate it, and we'll do it again next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Bill mentioned that I bowled, but ever since I stopped using his ball, my score went up.
He told me, your bowling ball is too heavy for me, Bill. I said, John, it's only 8 pounds. I mean,
Well, it still improved. But anyway, first of all, I'd like to thank, this Monday, there was a event that was very well planned, and I know the mayor probably speak on this in his report, but I'd like to thank the veterans for their bravery so we can have our freedom in the United States. So I'd like to just say thank you, veterans, and we're real proud of you. And with that concludes the chairman's report.
Make a motion to accept the chairman's report. Support.
Motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Choate, to accept the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved, and thank you.
Number 5 is the mayor's report.
Good evening, council, clerk, treasurer, and audience. Tonight in my report, didn't bring a quote, I brought some lyrics, and this is from Lee Greenwood, and it ties into our theme, John. And I'm proud to be an American where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died who gave that right to me. And yes, we did have quite a program yesterday. It was actually VFW Post 9568. I do want to give a shout out to Dennis Davidson. Dennis, when I spoke with him, we have a beautiful war and military monument right out in front of the court, and when it was dedicated, we had a big program. This VFW Post, they usually do a Sunday afternoon or noonish type recognition, and we said, let's reach out to them, bring them in, use the VFW. A lot of people worked hard, the Boy Scouts, our court workers, DPW, to kind of clean up that. Chris Dunn as well, to make sure that area was looking good for the service. But basically, what it was all about was a VFW program to recognize those who gave the ultimate price, so that we can be in this meeting, so that we could be out at that event yesterday. So I think it's really important, those who gave that ultimate price, and I thank those who were here We had Congressman Conyers showed up, we had local Judge Parrott, we had council people and officials, so this year was our first shot at bringing that back. We're hoping we can make that bigger and better as we move forward, so thanks to all of those who were involved in that. Some other things that we're working on just to share with council, and I did throw this in some of the mailboxes. You know, on the business side, people talk about a value proposition or what a business brings that sets themselves apart. What our staff has been working on is what we call a value statement. More than what the words are or just memorizing like a mission statement or value statement, what we're really making sure that we're, in any employee's own words, they can tell the story. Why Romulus? What sets us apart? And I want to share that with you and with the public. Our value statement says the city of Romulus is passionate about customer service at all levels. We have initiated a solution-oriented culture. Our team is dedicated to dedicated employees who work together to deliver outstanding professional services. We have developed an innovative approach to exceed the expectations of the community. The community is who we serve, right? So even though each employee may not memorize each of those words, when they tell their own story, you should hear things like they're exhausting all resources to come up with a solution. They're trying hard to make sure, no matter what level, if it's in public safety, if it's an elected official, if it's a DPW worker, a clerical person, whatever, that we're trying to make sure that we put the customer first, which is the resident, the corporate resident, the individual resident. We kind of came up with our little tagline to keep it simple. We call it CAN, customer service at all levels, always offer solutions, and new and innovative ideas. Just to try to keep that on the forefront. What I've been doing actually in my travels is talking to frontline people and saying, okay, you heard this, you saw this, what does it mean to you? And it's actually been pretty encouraging. We have some great employees. Those employees will tell their story. Well, here's what it means to me, Mr. Burcroft, this is what happened. Great. That's really what matters, so that if they have a few minutes with a new resident or a family member or maybe a business person, they want to know why Romulus, these are the reasons why Romulus. So just to pass that on, and I wanted to share that. Kind of ties into the whole culture, but you hear more about it. Wanted to recognize, I received a document or a letter giving a little update and recognizing our clerk, and I wanted to read this to you if I could, Mr. Chairman. It was addressed to me, and it said the Michigan Association of Municipal Clerks is an organization that promotes, educates Michigan clerks. Through their Certified Michigan Municipal Clerk Certification Program, clerks are recognized for their knowledge and a multifaceted clerk profession. We are pleased to announce that your clerk, Ellen Craig Bragg, has met the program criteria and attended the prestigious MMC certification. Ellen's commitment to education and desire to attain certification clearly defines commitment to the clerk's profession and to your community. On behalf of the Michigan Association of Municipal Clerks Board of Directors, I ask that you join us in congratulating Ellen Craig Bragg on this accomplishment and well-deserved recognition. So with
Let's give
that,
Mr. Braggs a hand,
very
please.
much, good job. Really important, if it's clerks, our treasurer has gone through certification, council has gone to MML, I think that's huge. We can better serve the public by making sure we're sharing best practices and being committed to that process. So wanted to make mention of that. We have a couple retirements, what I'd like to ask council to do is do a couple resolutions recognizing those. Last week we had Bill Markham, who was a DPW inspector, retired 39 years to the day that he started with the city. Had a great run, had a lot of great things to say about the city and what he's seen change over the years. So one would be for Bill Markham. And then the second one I would also ask council to recognize, which you were previously made mention of in our study session, but Debbie Hoffman is retiring the end of this month. And I understand come August, it would have been 40 years, I think, right, Abs, for her run here at the city. Done a lot, valuable resource to not just the legislative body, but administrative, the budget process, wealth of information, especially when it comes to finance. So And you'll hear more about Debbie. There's a lunch that's going on next week about that. But Bill, they did have a little get-together at DPW, and he has retired. So if I could get some council resolutions on those two, I would appreciate it.
So moved, Mr. Chairman, for both of them.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for the retirement resolution for Debbie Hoffman, and is that Bill Markham?
Shouldn't we do them individually?
Individually.
Then they would have their own resolution number assigned to them, so they would know.
Definitely like to have their own.
Debbie
if you do it as
Hoffman
one or
first.
separate.
Well, we'll first start off with Debbie Hoffman. It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth and supported by Ms. Roscoe for the resolution for Debbie Hoffman. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
yes,
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
And for Bill Markham, too.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for Bill Markham, resolution for retirement. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
yes,
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you for that, council. Last, just wanted to give a belated happy birthday to Linda Choate, who had hers on the 20th. So Linda, happy birthday. Sorry, we're kind of in between meetings, but hope you had a great day.
Happy
I
birthday,
did.
Linda.
Thank you very much.
I have just a couple quick action items under my regular report. What you have before you under 5A is a request for an introduction of budget amendment 13/14-18. This is to use program income and supplement the 2013 CDBG Senior Services, which funds and allows the chore workers to continue the senior services through the 2014 budget year, which, as you know, begins July 1st, 2014.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Ms. Choate.
I'd like to make the motion that we introduce Budget Amendment 1314-18 to use program income to supplement the 2013 CDBG Senior Services budget to allow chore workers to continue senior services until 2014 budget begins on July 1st, 2014, and to obtain needed repairs to the senior center parking lot.
support,
Motion by Ms. Choate, supported by Mr. Kraut, to introduce Budget Amendment 13/14-18 to use program income to supplement the 2013 CDBG Senior Services budget to allow the chore workers to continue senior services until the year 2014 budget begins on July 1st, 2014, and to obtain needed repairs to the senior center parking lot. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
yes,
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next item up is 5B. What you have before you is a request for introduction of budget amendment 13/14-19, and that's to reflect the police department's savings and contingency dollars that would be used to prevent any layoffs for the firefighters retained under the previous 2010 SAFER grant. Their intention was to remain adequate at the full-time staffing, which was listed in a memo that was sent with that request.
So moved, Mr. Chairman, for budget amendment 13/14-19 in the general fund.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Makowski, to introduce a budget amendment 13/14-19 to reflect the police department's savings and the contingency dollars used to prevent the layoffs of firefighters and retained under the previous 2010 SAFER grant. This retention was necessary to maintain adequate full-time staffing. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
yes,
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
6A is the clerk's report. Under 6A1 for second reading and final adoption is an amendment to ordinance Chapter 36, Division 4, entitled Controlled Substances, Section 36 through 269, and this amendment was introduced at the council meeting of May 12, 2014.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Ms. Abdo.
I'll make that motion to accept the second reading and the final adoption
of an amendment to the ordinance, Chapter 36, Division 4, entitled Controlled Substances, Sections 36 through 269.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Abdos, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for second reading and final adoption of the amendment to the ordinance, Chapter 36, Division 4, entitled Controlled Substance, Section 36 through 269. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. Other than some information I provided for you, a notice from the Wayne Disposal Incorporated Solid Waste Transfer Station, and that will conclude the clerk's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
6B is the treasurer's report.
Good evening, council, mayor, clerk, and audience. I do not have anything under my report tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 7 is public comment, and this is a portion of our meeting where those in the audience have an opportunity to address council with your comments. If you would like to address council, raise your hand after you've been acknowledged by the chairperson. Approach the podium. We ask you to state your name and that you please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Mr. Chair and council, we do have one written request from Harold and Constance Black. And if they're here, you can approach the podium.
Okay.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
My name is Constance Black, and I live at 6008 Carnegie Street. And I just want to address 3 things, well, at least. But when they cut the grass on the islands, either they leave the grass on the street, or they blow it back up, and it really has a bad smell. And the manhole covers that they uncovered, they teeter when my husband is using the riding lawnmower. They're not, because they had to totally uncover. And there's a house across the street from us. I don't know if they live there anymore. It's 6029 Carnegie Street. And the grass is almost as tall as I am. And I haven't seen anybody in that dwelling for at least a year. And when they replaced the storm drains last summer, they said that they were going to come back this year because the ground really, is sunk in, So those are my things. Did you have anything to say? Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to speak on those manhole covers. What has happened to them? They've gotten off center. They've shifted. I was out there one day when the city workers was out doing something, tracking down a water leak. And the access hole has shifted halfway over from the manhole, and each year they get worse and worse, and I get an eerie feeling out there cutting the line that I'm going to end up in a big sinkhole or something. So, I'd like to request that somebody come out and realign those and reset them.
Mr. Chairman, if
Yes,
I
Mr.
could,
Mayor.
if we could make sure he gets his information, can direct our DPW to those areas, we'll put in a request right away.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right on the corner there at Avalon and Carnegie. Yeah, right there by the light post. There's 3 of them arranged there. And also, I want to thank the city workers for getting out there last year and digging that up and putting in a new storm drain. They did an expeditious job, and everything is working fine. So, I don't want their efforts to go, unrecognized. So I want to say thank you for the beautiful job that they came out there and done. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other comments in the audience? Okay, we will close that part out.
Number 7 is unfinished business.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Ms. Abdo.
Thank you. I had a couple calls, and I just want to put this out there and see if you can get some help on. I know that the Grant Road project is under scrutiny, it's being delayed, but the downtown area, I think the craters were filled at one time, but they need to be repatched. Down, if you I don't even drive downtown, it's so bad, they're tearing up cars. there, and I'm just wondering if there's any plans to repatch that downtown, because,
Sure. The Goddard Road project was delayed because the bids came in high.
oh, yeah, I know.
We did request that it be rebid. Those bids were put out. We had a discussion last week with the state. Even though the bids came in high both times, that tells us that that's what that project is going to cost. So we are going to still try to move forward with that project. The state, the different phases will change. So the downtown area, which I know has some holes, we're going to continue to temporarily patch that with cold patch until it's completely redone. That's about all we can do at this point. The Grant Road project west of the tracks is still going through.
Mr. Barton?
Yeah, one more
Go
question.
ahead.
I still don't, that's what I was requesting, that they could continue to patch that right downtown area until we can get to it. The other question I had a couple phone calls this weekend about burning. Fire, I know we have an ordinance, I've read the ordinance, I have a copy of the ordinance, but what the question was from someone that came to my work today, says, how do they report it if on the weekend? Who do you report to? Someone burning obnoxious stuff? Do they call the police or?
Yes. Call the non-emergency
Okay.
police number and then report that just as they would during normal workdays.
Not a problem.
Mr. Wadsworth?
If I could go back to the downtown, so at this point, it doesn't appear it's going to be done in 2014.
Correct. Even though we're moving forward, the phases are going to change a little bit. So most likely, if everything goes through, we'll be doing the paving from Wayne Road to the tracks. And then the first part of next year will be the downtown portion, which, by the way, I did visit personally almost all the downtown businesses and let them know of that change and delay. And most of the comments were favorable. They said continue to cold patch it to get them through. And then we'll go after it again hard and heavy next year.
You're fine. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Ms. Cho?
I also had a question about, in preparation for resurfacing the Goddard Road in the downtown area, we were under the impression that DPW picked up some of the items, such as benches, and one of the business persons, their bench has been removed, and she was asking me if DPW picked them up, or did somebody steal it?
No, they did pick up some benches in anticipation of the project. I have had some comments as well, too, that they'd like those benches out for the rest of the year, and I think that's reasonable. But they were planning for the project to start with originally the Phase 1 was the downtown area, so that's why some of those items were removed. But that most likely will not happen until next year, so we can try to get some benches back out. Thank you.
There was also a complaint with regard the parking area along the west side of the drugstore. Some of the customer parking area, some of the customers were complaining to the drugstore that it needs, the parking area needs to be swept and cleaned, and there may be some holes that need to be patched over there.
Yeah, we can take a look at that.
Yeah, just
Again,
check out.
that was going to be part of that project, at least along Goddard portion, but we'll take a look at it. Thank you.
That's all.
Thank you, Ms. Cho.
No more unfinished business? If not, then number 9 is new business. Number 10 is communication. Number 11 for approval is warrant 14-10.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Ms. Cho?
I'd like to make a motion that we pay warrant 14-10 in the following amounts. General Operating Fund, $70,838.11. Major Street Fund, $62,437.56. Local Street Fund, $1,418.55. Cable, $1,597.33. Street lighting, $43,272.07. Sanitation Fund, $83,740.17. Community Development Block Grant, $7,250. 911 is $1,604.64. Narcotics Enforcement Fund, $944.36. Water and Sewer, $581,499.77. Motor Vehicle Fund, $30,824.29. Technology Services, $6,869.63. Retirees Insurance Benefits, $202,450.97. Property and Liability Self-Insurance, $10,000. Payroll Fund, $208,083.99 for a total of $1,312,831.44.
Support.
Motion by motion by Ms. Choate, supported by Ms. Makowski, to pay warrant number 14-10 for $1,312,831.44. Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, warrant 14-10 will be paid.
And number 12 is adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. We are adjourned. Thank you.